Lauren, Asmodeus, Icon.
Reinish, Dasa, Veraka, Biasa, Ikar, Lucifer. Reinish, Dasa, Veraka, Biasa, Ikar, Lucifer.
Tonight about suspected directed energy microwave attacks targeting CIA officers and top national security officials. We first started hearing about them, and we told you about them here on Special Report in 2016, shortly after then President Obama opened the embassy in Havana, Cuba. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon has the latest tonight about a suspected attack here at home.
U.S. officials say there are now 130 suspected victims, mostly CIA operatives and U.S. diplomats being treated for brain injuries, debilitating headaches, vertigo, the targets they believe of a directed energy microwave weapon.
There's a mysterious direct energy weapon that is being used, and it is causing, in some cases, permanent traumatic brain injury.
New indications suggest the incidents go as far back as 1996. Two individuals working on the NSC believe they were targeted in 2019 and in 2020, just after the election. One was near the White House and one was walking her dog. The Russians have been working on mobile microwave weapons for years.
We have to get more information, and we got to tell the public what's going on.
The U.S. Air Force and tech firm Epirus have developed a mobile high-energy microwave weapon to bring down drones. Epirus is also working on a miniature variant of the weapon that can be easily transported on a pickup truck. This is the type.
What's that, Sammy? Timmy is stuck in the well again. Well, screw him. I'll take his girlfriend after he's dead, though. She kinda hot. Nah, you're right, Sammy. Fuck that chicken head ass, greasy stank breath smelling like an athletic gym locker room, and musky ass nuggets. That's why them hood cats be callin' her doo-doo chow breath. Can you her breath smell like she just ate a fresh bowl, asshole?
Thousand years later.
Take me to your fucking home!
This is a template of the basic angelic design. In an ethereal-based form, the angelic order of dominions for each world will be comprised of a certain mixture of conjured particle elements. These particle elements will be the main source of that which makes life possible on each planet. The angels' duties will be to only maintain the proper balance and fusion of elements necessary for life to develop. They will in no way create or influence the life on those worlds in their development. They shall sustain themselves with the mana pools or resonance field of each planet's atmosphere. The excess discharge from the atmospheric fluctuation will sustain their existence where that discharge breaches the surface at crossing intersecting lines of the resonance field as it comes through the mantle of the planet and begins its transition into the atmosphere to shield the surface from cosmic radiation. Any planet that has life upon it all share this one quality, a shield that blocks radiation from space from cooking any forms of life that may dwell upon them no matter what form they may come in. They shall remain in an astral type stasis known as ethereal forms, which is a spiritual embodiment used in various religions and practices, such as spiritual gateway guardians, watchtower guardians, higher plane entity projections, wrathful spirits, unbound spirits and many others. In this state they will be capable of traversing the luminescence field and thus travel large distances easier. It the elemental flows of nature. Then they made war against each other, destroying all in their path. And I, Enoch, was given insight by the high council of the sages who served under the king of that era. It was then that a messenger of the soothsayers asked me to write a confession of a terrible deed done by the ones who sent him so that their conscience can be cleared. I learned from a recount of the events told to me in secrecy that I shall now write down, for it was something that could not be spoken of in public. I knew, though once I learned of what had occurred, that no one shall grant them forgiveness for what they had done, and if this confession should come to light, then their punishment shall be death without remorse. And so I begin to write the account of what had transpired, and it involves the king's highest court officials and begins with the nobility of the line of heirs to the throne. Amidst the noble court was a bloodline to the king whose reputation was strong and loyal for generations to the kingdom and had been through many a turmoil within the kingdom's history. And one of the confessor's versions said that this is the account of what transpired from what happened to me. And go forth, Enoch, for you are a representative of those who will judge us, and tell them not to judge us as with discrimination as members of the court, but as men with an open mind to a bigger picture of things that transpired. I ask, have you not ever left the courtship of the nobility and sought to find romance with those of common society? For we have found wives among the common class and have had children with them, and those children have become great leaders among the common class, and it is they who ravage the outskirts of the kingdom. It is they who are making sieges against the kingdom and challenging the rule of the king. And the Earl said to me, here shall you hear of the events of their children, and their noble citizenship is allowing them to pass unchecked among the people, and how they shall lead them to follow the ones who seek to revolt and rebel against the authority of the king, and how it shall lead them to be slain under the swift hand of judgment against those who would strike in treason against their king, and it will lead to many, many deaths. And one of the king's court messengers showed me where to lead them, once I discover their identity, to a place to be ambushed where they shall be judged and sentenced for their deeds, and it shall be a sentence of death which will abruptly be carried out there in the place they are led to. Then I was led to another place where representatives who are strong in their loyalty to the kingdom, and they have been given the responsibility to pass the harsh penalties and carry them out upon those found guilty. And there was a council member among them that none had ever met before, who had been appointed
Did you know that there's a danger of the return of extinct animals to Earth? I'm not joking right now. Scientists don't rule out the possibility. First of all, I'm talking about Titanoboa. There's speculation that it lived at a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius. That's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And given the growth rate of global warming, such average temperatures can become a reality. I'm glad it will take millions of years.
Ichthyosaur. It's the earliest known giant animal, period. As far as we know, no animal, either on land or in the oceans, had ever gotten so big before. So what drove Symbospondylus to grow to such unprecedented size at breakneck speed? Well, ironically enough, the sudden rise and revolutionary success of the giant ichthyosaurs began with a global ecological catastrophe. Now, the origin of the ichthyosaurs is still pretty mysterious. Most modern analyses place them in the larger group that includes crocodilians, snakes, lizards, birds, and turtles, but we're not exactly sure where in that family tree they fit. But one thing we do know for sure is that when they first invaded the oceans, they were entering a post-apocalyptic world. Just a few million years earlier, around 252 million years ago, the planet had been hit by the biggest mass extinction in its history, the one at the end of the Permian period, often called the Great Dying. It was probably driven by the sudden release of greenhouse gases from massive volcanic eruptions, creating environmental chaos around the world. Rising temperatures, ocean acidification, and other rapid global changes led to the loss of around 70% of terrestrial species and up to 96% of marine species by some estimates. But as devastating as the Great Dying was, it reset the planet's ecosystems in a way that mass extinctions often do, wiping the biological slate clean, allowing the survivors to take center stage. And as the planet gradually recovered, ichthyosaurs were able to quickly establish themselves as key players in the new Mesozoic.
Their own ideas for what caused this. Scientists and marine biologists have said for many years now that Megalodon went extinct, citing various reasons for why this happened, including their prey moving to colder waters, geological changes, and the introduction of smaller sharks that were able to pick off animals that did stay. Researchers have said that Megalodon wouldn't be able to survive in this current climate, but that hasn't stopped people from suggesting that Megalodon still exists somewhere, with one idea being that it's made its way and adapted to deeper waters. Those who believe that the shark still exists points out that it could be responsible for the large bite marks, saying that it matches current theories for how big the shark was, going on to say that if it was still alive, something like a right whale would definitely be something it preyed on.
Chassa, allora, fore, asteroid. Chassa, allora, fore, asteroid. Chassa, allora, fore, asteroid.
Skills. Natural abilities are extrasensory enhanced perception, various kinetic abilities including advanced astral projection skills, enhanced clairvoyance and aura-triggered conscious controlled premonition, ascended divination of higher plane entities and celestial perception, cosmic awareness and understanding beyond the limits of most religions' standard limits, including that of the Hindu incarnate known as Buddha, able to manipulate the events of the future with accurate precision as well as influence the events of the past without disturbing the motion or momentum of the space-time continuum, can project himself into the dreams and thoughts of others and capable of appearing across select points in time and space and visually appearing to others in the last moments of a person's life in the range of near-death experiences, can take possession of both animate and inanimate objects, holds a strong influence over objects within the kinetic field of motion up to diverting the path of objects of extreme mass up to that of 156 meter in diameter asteroids by demonstration, but most likely can exceed objects of larger mass, has advanced influence over elemental forces such as disasters including earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, can create cyclone level 5 storms and supercell storms exceeding previous recorded strength, Arctic blizzards and tsunamis.
So much in me that's new.